Hi, my name's Krish Kandaya. I'm the President of London School of Theology and delighted to be helping you along in your little journey through the Bible in a year. And today we're looking at another passage from 1 Kings, and we're going to look at 1 Kings chapter 8, where something really significant comes. We've had a lot of detail outlining the workings and the structures around the temple, but now the most important thing happens in the Ark of the Covenant, the very symbol of the presence of God, and the law of God is coming into the temple. Let me read to you a little bit from 1 Kings chapter 8, and you get this amazing prayer from Solomon just after the Ark of the Covenant is brought in. Here's what he said: "My father David had it in his heart to build a temple for the name of the Lord, the God of Israel. But the Lord said to my father, you did well to have it in your heart to build a temple for my name. Nevertheless, you are not the one to build the temple, but your son, who is your own flesh and blood, he is the one who will build the temple for my name. The Lord has kept the promise he made. I have succeeded my father, and now I sit on the throne of Israel, just as the Lord promised, and I built the temple for the name of the Lord, the God of Israel. I provided a place for the ark, in which is the covenant of the Lord that he made with our ancestors when he brought them out of Egypt." It's called the Ark of the Covenant as a reminder of the promise or the covenant relationship that God made with his people. And for the Ark of the Covenant to come and take that central place in the temple is a very significant moment. And tomorrow we're going to be looking a little bit more at this dedication prayer that Solomon offers once the Ark has come in. But I want us to reflect a little bit, I suppose, on the paradoxes that surround the very existence of the temple. And you might know I've written quite a bit about paradox. I didn't actually look at the temple paradox, so you get a bit of a sneak peek here. I guess that the temple is both indicating the distance of God and yet his desire to be close. And that might seem a little paradoxical because we believe that God is everywhere, don't we? There is not a place on this earth where you can hide from. Psalm 139 it says, even if I go to the heights and the highest heavens, God, you are there, or the depths of the sea, your hand is with me. So there's nowhere we can escape from God. And yet God builds a temple where his presence is going to dwell specifically. And I guess the temple is this mix, because the temple is built in the centre of the city as if God is taking up residence right at the heart of his people in Jerusalem, and it's indicating God's proximity. He wants to be close relationally to us, and yet it's really difficult to get in. Not everybody's going to get to go and visit the Ark of the Covenant. It's not going to be like the Science Museum where anyone can walk in and see all the exhibits. It's protected. It's only going to be in a certain part, the Holy of Holies, which had very limited access. And you're getting an indication both of what we call the immanence of God, that he's everywhere, we can't run from him, but also the transcendence of God, that he's other and he's different. Or if you like, you're getting a picture of the love of God, that he wants to include us, to be close with him, and yet the holiness of God. And because of his goodness and his justice, we need to be protected from his presence. So going into the temple was a big deal, and there was only certain parts that normal people like you and I could go if we're not part of the priesthood. It's almost like a nuclear reactor. God is so pure and holy that his very presence would endanger us, and we are not ready to see him because of the sin and brokenness in our lives. And unless sacrifices were made, we were not allowed access to God. And so I guess as you're working your way through these passages, looking at the challenges around the temple and all the functions at work, I guess hold that paradox in your mind that God wants to be close to us, but our sin separates us from him because of God's holiness. And the temple is a way that God is hinting at a solution, that one day a sacrifice will come, a perfect sacrifice will come that will allow ordinary people like you and I to enter into the very presence of God. And we all know that sacrifice that's coming is Jesus. So see these verses as a preparation for the person of Jesus who's going to come and make a way for us into the temple itself, into the very presence of God. Keep enjoying your reading. It's been nice to talk to you.